All right, Black Box Radio. We're in the box. It is still Healing August, guys. It's still Healing August. You know, all this month it's been about healing and about us looking at ourselves and going inside and coming and dealing with the inside so the outside can be glowing. But it all starts inside. So within Healing August, this is our last. We saved the best for last. Y'all don't even know yet. We saved the best for last. This is the last joint this month. We got the most powerful power in the house. I am Queen. I am a host at Black Box Radio. We are a media platform illustrating Black excellence. We platform Black people. We expose Black genius, and we disseminate information either to our own community, which is the Black community, or to other communities. But more than anything, we humanize the experience of Black people. And most of that humanization is coming from Black people. We have to tell our own stories and we have to articulate what's going on with us and talk to each other. So this is the space that Black Box Radio is. I ask you to please subscribe to blackboxradio.com. Also subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're trying to build that, and it is Black Box Radio. Hit up the YouTube channel, subscribe, then hit the website out, subscribe to that. And then check us out every month. We bring in new content and things that definitely makes Black life better. But tonight, I've been talking, you guys were seeing my little scroll, Race First Rally, probably since the end of July. That's been in my scroll, Race First. So now we about to talk about what that is, because it's been on every show that I've had. I talked to Bob. I told him I was going to put it there. So it's been there. And guess what? We're going to talk about what it is. It is the National Race First Rally in Baltimore. It is tomorrow at 2 p.m. at Lafayette Park. Come through. This is for you. Come out, raise your consciousness, be around with Black people or African people who are like-minded, who want to organize and strategize for the good of us all. I want to introduce you guys to a power pack. This brother right here, he's my teacher. I got my pen and paper, guys, because he's coming. And he is the founder, the creator of the Race First Rally. So we're going to talk about the rally. We're going to talk about what they're doing and how they expect for Black people to contribute to this movement. Say hi to the people, Baba.
Peace and blessings to BB for Hodier, everyone, and peace and power to you, my beautiful sister, for this beautiful platform.
I appreciate that. Baba, you know, when you first started this, I was like, wow, this is amazing. I didn't make the first one, but I've been there since the second one. Is this the third or the fourth time?
This is the third.
This is the third. So I've been to two. And I went last year, amazing, just amazing. The presenters, the energy that was out in the park, it was just amazing. And then you had a week that you guys did something before last year. Mm-hmm. So I attended some of those. So just beautiful. So tell people what the Race First Rally is and how did it come about? How did this thing come through you?
Okay, so you had two questions. So it came to me from the ancestors in the month of June 2020. Okay. I was up late one night, reflecting, just doing a lot of thinking and trying to connect, because I'm always looking for solutions, because I was tired of hearing people complain about Black Lives Matter. You know, I've seen so much of the complaints. And I'm not a fan of Black Lives Matter, but my mind is always such that rather than complain, so I'm looking for a solution. Then it came to me, it was like, advance race first. I said, advance race first. So I woke up that morning, I did a live, and I introduced that, and I said, I think we should start pushing race first rather than complaining about Black Lives Matter. I got great response from that, great response. Then the following week, I was up again trying to figure out, like, so what's next? Talking to the ancestors, and it came to me again. It was like, do a Race First Rally. Call for a Race First Rally. And be clear that it's not a protest. So that's what I did. I did a live. I called for the rally. I got a lot of good response. And we did the rally August the 16th, 2020. So the Race First Rally is not a protest. And I be trying to be very clear. The rally is a call to action. It's a call to duty. The rally is a small initiative of a larger movement, which is the Race First movement. The rally obviously serves as a symbolic gesture of our capacity to organize, because we have so many naysayers that's always saying Black people can't come together, Black people won't do this. So we are doing the National Race First Rally to demonstrate that that is incorrect, because we are organizing around the country the same day, the same time. That's organization.
Yeah.
That requires a lot of behind the scenes meetings and talking, asking questions, answering questions, phone calls, inboxing, Zoom calls. That's organizing, showing up. So the rally is a call to action, a call to duty. It demonstrates our capacity to get organized, and we're using the rally as a means to raise national consciousness.
Okay.
So I'll stop there.
So you're raising national consciousness before African people. Am I correct?
Yes. National consciousness for African people.
African people. Yep. All right. And so you started the first one in Baltimore. You had yourself. You were the only Race First rally. The first one, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I witnessed last year was 7. Am I correct?
Yes.
So where we at this year?
We at 11 this year. No, incorrect. We at 11 on the continent of within the USA, and 1 on the continent of Africa, so it's 12.
Wow. So we're at 12 different rallies all over the country at the same time tomorrow afternoon, and in Tanzania.
Yes. So Tanzania is 9 p.m. East African time.
Because that would be the same.
That's the same. That's set because they're 7 hours ahead of us.
Mm-hmm.
So we start at 2 p.m. East Central time. And that makes all of them align at the same time.
Yes. I love it.
And let me add this. For those who may not know, that's not easy to do. And there's really no precedence to it. So you can get on, they can jump on Google right now. There's no precedence to a national Race First rally happening the same day, the same time, right?
Right.
That's not an easy thing to pull off. But we are pulling it off.
They're pulling it off.
And think about this. We went from 1 in 2020 to 12 in 2022.
I know.
Right? That says a lot.
And yeah, it's a great movement. From 1 to 7, 7 to 12, and then you're international. That's a beautiful. That shows that it has value. Other people see the value, and not only that, we see that we need to connect and be unilateral at one time and have one mantra. Race first.
That's right.
And it's not to negate another race. It's all we're focusing is on ourselves.
Yes.
I think a lot of time, Bob, I wanted to say this because, I hear people say, oh, that's racist. You always, when you talk about it's just for Black people, or it's just, what do you say about that when it comes to race first? Because I want to debunk all of that. I don't want to hear that. So
I'll answer the question because, we live, we having a conversation.
Yep.
So there's a concept that I've been working with. And I've been working with this concept because I was listening to a lecture by Dr. Wade Nobles. And I'm going to make it all relevant.
Okay.
And so he was having a conversation. And within his conversation, he made a statement. He said, Black people have been conditioned to default to white thought. And he just made it real, just talking. But when he said it, I heard it, right? So I began to work on that concept and build the concept out. So what happens is this. The reason why Black people define or term anything that Black people do for Black people racist is because we have been conditioned to default to white thought. We've been conditioned to view ourselves through their eyes. And we use their analysis of us.
Yes.
We use their worldview of us. We use their concepts of us. So the framework that we work through in relation to us is theirs. So that's the reason why we would say that race first or race is racist. Now, for those who don't know, race first it's an instinct that have been put to sleep within us.
Yes.
See, race first is a natural instinct. See, one of the laws of race first, as we define it, is all living organisms seek to preserve their existence. Due to chattel enslavement, Jim Crow, and white terrorism, the instinct in us to think about ourselves first had been put to sleep. It had been suppressed. It had been stomped out. So race first as a movement is coming along to reawaken and reactivate the natural instinct to put ourselves first and do for us first.
So this is a conditioning that we're not even aware we're conditioned.
Yes.
It's so inherent to how we go about our everyday lives. Wow.
Yes. It's so natural. It's like, I give an example. Most of what we do and the things we say it so naturally that we believe that it's normal, that it comes from us. Like some of the questions that we ask, like, well, black people monotheistic or polytheistic? See, that's a default to white thought because that's a white person's question. That's not a black question. You're not going to find an authentic Igbo, an authentic Yoruba, an authentic Akan sitting down asking that question. Are we polytheistic or monotheistic? You're not going to find them doing it. That's not a question that we would raise. So that's a default to white thought. The way we reason is their way of reasoning. We're not using our way. We're using another person's way, another people's way. And that's why we are so jammed up as a people, because we don't realize that we're operating with a mind that have been manufactured. We don't realize it. We're just functional, just moving. Moving. So that's why when a black person come along and they like, we got to do for black. We need to build black businesses. We need to build black communities, right? We start saying, oh, that sounds racist, right? You know why? Because that little European, I call it a fail-safe. You know what a fail-safe is? A fail-safe is something that's put in place to protect, to make sure something go as designed, right? So we have a fail-safe in us. Anytime we approach a situation that's designed to put us first, the fail-safe go off in our heads, right? And we do this. Well, that's racist. That's the fail-safe. And that's what we're dealing with. It's a conditioning. It's Ralph Ellison made a statement. He said the white man's greatest creation. He said the black man, the mechanical man. People missed that when he said that.
Whoa.
The mechanical man. So that's us, right? We are robotic. That's a fail-safe in us. So any person that come along that has our well-being at heart and they are serious and they on it, we view them as a threat.
Wow.
Right? And we come to the defense like a guard dog. We come to the defense of white folks, and the person, I didn't think about white people, right? Race first has nothing to do with them. See, race first is a call to us. I'm calling black people to action. I'm calling black people to duty. I'm saying black people must get organized. They're not even in the equation of race first. But because the fail-safe is there in us, in our psyche, when we hear race first, we got to go on a defense of white people.
That's serious right there. And there has to be some conditioning when you're around people for a certain amount of time who have actually, this is their society, their oppressive tactics. There has to be some conditioning that comes out of that. You cannot come out that unless you are very intentional without having some type of conditioning. So to say that it's not there is so inherent, you don't even know it's there. And that's what I see a lot. Whenever Black people want to empower Black people, then we're racist. When we see the same people empowering each other all the time, they're never racist. You understand what I'm saying? So we got to really look at that. We definitely got to look at it. So with the Race First rally, that's a rally for Black people. So I ain't coming to see them. People ain't gonna be there. That's for us.
It's exclusively for Black people.
Exclusively.
Now, what I would say is this: we don't invite Europeans out, and the space is not for Europeans, and we have trained personnel that will approach a European if they show up and kindly ask, let them know, like, listen, this is a sacred space and sacred time just for us. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell you why, right? Not only because it's race first, but everything we do has to be exclusive. White presence is an imposition. When you got a white person standing in the Black meeting, if the Black people not strong enough, they're gonna censor their speech because the white people. So white people know this. They are an imposition. So that's the reason why we're trying to get ourselves together and heal and become whole. They can't be there. They can't be there because we need to be able to vent, and a lot of us not going to vent if they're there, right?
Yes. Yeah.
We're going to hold it in because in our mind, if I speak my truth, I'm going to offend him. I don't want to offend him, so I'm not going to speak my truth. But your truth is healing for you and us.
Yeah.
But you're more concerned about offending a white person.
Yeah.
That's why they don't need to be there. Got
it. And so a lot of folks would say, well, what are you trying to do with a race first? What I hear these questions. Like, what does that mean?
It's a great question.
Like, what you
it's a great question for those that don't. I'd like to say this right here. Race first is truly for those who are race first. I'm working on, because I also define race first as being a national platform. And so I was just working on the platform, and I was writing something up about it. And one of the things that I say in it is this right here. We're not so naive to think and believe that the philosophy of race first will appeal to all Black people and be embraced by all Black people. We're not that naive to believe that, right? We know that most Black people are going to object to it. They're going to push back against it, and they're going to feel like it's not anything viable moving forward. Viable. We're going to get that. That's not our concern. We expect that.
Okay.
We expect that because at the end of the day, what we know is this: when Black people put their social, political, economic interests, spiritual well-being, and overall material survival first, we can get to African sovereignty. Because an organized Black people is undefeatable.
Wow.
An organized Black people is undefeatable. And that's why billions of dollars are expended to keep us disorganized as a people. Our disorganization causes us to be weak, and it renders us a vulnerable prey to a predatory white race. Our disorganization leaves us vulnerable to this predatory white race.
Yep. That's true. Right? That right there.
An organized is undefeatable. Undefeatable. I'm going to tell you why I say that.
Yeah,
look at all we have done in this broken state that we are in.
Yes.
Right? Look at all we have done. We have impacted the world in our brokenness.
Yes.
Right? You know, we got brothers and sisters in Africa, certain parts of Africa, that's emulating gang culture from the USA. Right? We are impacting people throughout the world.
Throughout the world.
In the state that we are. The world awaits us the black man and the black woman in America.
Mm.
That's no slight to none of our brothers and sisters nowhere in the world. That's the truth. That is the truth. See what we are. See, we are. They like to say it's 2,000 quote unquote tribes. Tribes is a misnomer, and tribes is a derogatory term. I don't like using tribe. I use community. So, but for the sake of conversation, so I can be clear to anyone that's listening in.
Okay.
If it is 2,000 tribes, those of us in the USA, we make 2,001. What makes us different is that we are a composite of all of what our ancestors were. We are composite, right? And that's the beauty of us. So we're not just Yoruba or Igbo or Akan. We all of that. We keep Congo, we Shona, we all of that. Because they may make you believe that they only extracted our people from West Africa. We was extracted from everywhere in Africa.
Everywhere in Africa.
You can do
the trans-Saharan slave trade. That's right? It.
So yeah, this right here, it predates what the European was doing on the western shores of Africa. Because when you get to the western shores of Africa, you're dealing with the Spaniards and the Portuguese. Basically, we're talking about roughly the 15th and the 16th century.
Yes.
When you get to this, they was taking us out of Africa, sending us across the Mediterranean, sending us across the Red Sea, across the Indian Ocean. We came from everywhere in Africa. From everywhere. And the reason why we don't know this is because we let them give us our story. We need to know our own story. So we are a composite. We are a composite. We are the evolution of African people. We're the evolution. Us.
We are the greatest example of our ancestors.
Yeah, we the evolution. Listen, you have black men and black women born and raised in America, right? Scholars that's teaching Africans on the continent how to be Africans. That's how bad we are.
You're right.
That's how bad we are. We're the evolution, and we gotta embrace that. But they do everything in their power in this land to make us hate and dislike who we are in the USA.
Yep.
But we are a powerhouse. We are a powerhouse. Look at what we have done. Look what we have come through. Like when I drive down on the Eastern Shore, you have to go across all these different bridges, right? But think about it, and I drive through there at night sometimes. It can get really dark. But that's pretty much where Harriet Tubman came from. She came out that part of the shore, right? Yep. And think about that. Like, how does he navigate? The water she had to go through, the marsh and all that, to navigate that at night. No lights. There's no lights, anything like that.
She knew it like the back of her hand. She knew it.
Pulled it off, right? And we done all these wonderful things in this land. So, and organized black people are undefeatable. And we have to get that message across. And that's why I do Raise First, because I'm trying to help us understand that let's get organized. Let's get organized. That's all we got to do is get organized, and we undefeatable.
Okay. So I think that's very important, organization of us. So when you say organize, what is the strategy? Organize to build, organize to... In what way? What do you mean by this organization?
Look at it like this.
Say, what you want me to do? You're like, what is organization?
Now that's the question that's asked, right? And the reason we ask those questions, the reason people ask those questions is because we off code. You're never going to find a white person asking other white people, what are we to do? Right? White people are organized around the dominance of other people. So they know what they're supposed to do.
They're going to protect whiteness. They're going to protect their whiteness.
Right? So it's in the institutions. So when I say get organized, I mean this in a basic sense. There is so much disorganization amongst us in terms of who we are, what we should be doing, and how we should get there. Then you have those other conversations going on. Well, what should we be focused on? Economics or politics? Or no, I think we should be focused on agriculture. Right? I think it should be focused on, you know what I'm saying, survival. We got these internal conversations that doesn't allow us to move forward. So what I'm saying is this. Let's not argue anymore about whether we should be focused on politics, economics, agriculture, or survival, technology, science. What I'm saying is this. All the brothers and sisters who feel like economics should be the principle, then I want to get all y'all together.
Yeah.
All the ones who think it should be politics, then all y'all come together. Yep. All the ones who think it should be agriculture, then all y'all come together, right? And so on for science and technology. And then y'all create the agenda. You create the Black political agenda, the Black economic agenda, the Black scientific agenda, the Black technological agenda. Get all y'all together and y'all do it. Don't fight each other no more. Organize together. And then we can come back and say, this is the agenda. You
put it all together.
Put it together. And now we got our marching order. We can go out. We can implement the agenda. We implement the agenda for 2 years, and we reconvene after 2 years to say, well, this works, this don't work, this need to be tweaked, and so on and so forth. It's simple. It's simple. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying that.
So you're going to leave it to the people who are inclined to do that.
Yeah. You know?
You just need, you just open up the space for you to come on in.
That's it. You know? And help them think like your beef is not with the brother who thinks it's politics. Let him do that. You focus on linking up with the ones who share your passion for economics. Your beef is not the one that want to do agriculture, right?
Right.
You focus on the ones that want to do politics and you link with them. We spend so much time having those frivolous conversations. So a person can never, they can't go back and find a single lecture I've ever done when I put any one of those things above the other. Because for me, I know that the African way is all of that is built into our total way. So even when we had a conversation, economics or politics, we still default into white thought. Because only white people pull things apart like that. See? Only white people make it compartmental. So that's still a default to white thought. That's a white conversation we have amongst ourselves. Economics or politics. You can't go into an African society before the Arabs and the Europeans came in and find our people broken up that way. You're going to find a governance and a way of life.
And a way of life.
As simple as that.
Well, you know, we moving like them. So that's, and some of this, you know, even race first to a point, do you feel like when some of these folks come that you have to kind of peel back the acculturation, you know, some of the thought processes, it belies, of course, and white conditioning. Do you feel like sometimes you got to even deal with that? The people who want race first, they still got some issues.
Yes, and I have to deal with that a lot. But what I would say, most people once they allow me to get into explaining and helping them see, most people get it. They be like, wow, I get that. I make a lot. I never thought of it that way. Most people say that. You know, I never thought of most people. I'm able to move most people inches beyond that white conditioning to help us begin to see, like, you know what, we are thinking like them, you know, and how to get out their way of thought. Because I think the key is for us to know our way, and we got to spend time on learning that way. And we have to be willing to, if we don't have the time to do all the studying ourselves, we got to be willing to listen to those who have done it. You know what I'm saying? That those who are skilled in our way, that can bring our way to us. We have to be able to allow ourselves to listen. Because the more we listen, the more we get it. That's like, I'll give an example. Like, I've been having this conversation with people now that's talking about race first, and most people just go back to Marcus Garvey. You know, now we know Marcus Garvey was one of the greatest proponents. So we're not saying he was one of the greatest proponents of race first. But I tell people all the time, I say that, you know, what we're doing is Garvey was a proponent, and Garvey most definitely asserted race first from the top of his lungs. I say what we're doing is taking race first, and we're reconceptualizing and redefining and reintroducing, because we're creating the movement and the philosophy. So you see, with the race first, we got the 10 principles. We have the definition. We have the laws and the platforms that I'm working on. So it's a whole thing, right? So when a person get into it, but then I tell people this because they be like, well, that's that's garbage stuff. I say, listen, hold on for a second, right? I said, man, let me help you understand. And I break it down real simple. I said, when was Marcus Garvey born? 1887. Okay. Yes. So 13 years after 1887, it puts you at 1900. So that means in the year 1900, Garvey was 13. So let's add 5 more years to that. So in the year 1905, Garvey is about 18. So around 18, let's say he started his serious studying and self-reflection and deep thought. Mm-hmm. The only place he could look in 1905 to get, references, resources would be the 1800s.
Yeah.
Right? Who was in the 1800s? Henry Highland Garnett, Martin Delany, Albert Wilmot Blyton, Alexander Crummell. You know what I'm saying? You get Henry Bishop McNeil Turner, Julia Cooper. You get Mary Church Terrell. Now, all of them were major proponents of race first. So even when Garvey said Africa for the Africans at home and abroad, Martin Delany said it first. He said Africa for the Africans. Yep. Garvey affixed at home and abroad. Garvey did a convention in 1920. The concept of Garvey's convention comes out of the 1800s.
Wow.
There's a book, I like the
and all this is before the Berlin Conference where they chopped up Africa.
All this, so that's a book that's called The American Negro History, and it deals with the Negro Convention movement. It talks about the conventions that we was launching in the 1800s.
Wow.
And the conventions is where we was really doing what I'm attempting to do with the Race First Convention. They was doing it. So when I studied the 1800s, that's my time period, really studying the 1800s and looking at how we was moving. Garvey was a student of the 1800s. So when I help those people see this, most of them they get quiet because they didn't have all this knowledge.
Yeah.
So most people that I try to tell them, like, listen, I'm not shooting from my hip. I'm 30 years deep in doing this work. I'm not from my hip. Granted, I know I got a small stature. I may not look my age. I'm 51 years old. I'm 51. So I'm not just popping out from the hip, running from the mouth. You know what I'm saying? No, I am an individual that's a student of our story. I pride myself on knowing our story. So I'm going to come with the references and the resources to validate the things that I say and that I do. So when I say race first, and I say we are conceptualizing, that's what we're doing. We are making race first a total philosophy, a way of life, a movement. So we're taking it a step further. We're standing on Garvey, no doubt. But I'm not here to contend with Garvey. Garvey going to be who Garvey is. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He's the man, no doubt. All our ancestors were great.
Yes.
So I've been trying to help people understand. So we have to be very clear so we can make the motion that need to be made.
And we must also understand is our giants in our culture. If we expound on what they started, what's wrong with that? So if Marcus Mosiah Garvey said race first, and my brother now Baba is saying race first, what's wrong with that? That's what we need. You know what I'm saying?
You and I agree. See, when we're so small-minded, we think that way.
Okay.
Even when Garvey did the convention, and in the convention he drafted the Negro tenets and he broke down the flag.
Yeah.
And things like that. So it was preceded by the convention of 1853 in Ohio. And that's what they did. So they broke it down. Like this right here is their entire convention. And it's nothing in here but all the resolutions that they arrived at in 1853.
At the convention. Wow.
At the convention of 1853. Henry Highland Garnett and all of them. So I'm going to just read one of these tenets they come up with. They said that no oppressed people have ever obtained their rights by voluntary acts of generosity on the part of their oppressors. 1853. This was a resolution that they came up with.
Read it again.
That no oppressed people have ever obtained their rights by voluntary acts of generosity on the part of their oppressors.
Wow. Of generosity. Wow. And this is 1853. We're still going through it.
Yes. Still going through it. And that's what I realized.
Because we haven't organized.
That's it. See? And that's what they was doing. They were organizing. That's why they was able to make moves. And also, I break this down. When we look at our story clearly, those moments when we elevated and embraced blackness, we had major bursts forward. Black Power, Garvey. You go further back. You see what I'm saying, with the 1800s, the Garnetts and all of them. When we was embracing blackness, David Walker, when he was like, listen for the Negro people. You start. So it's that embracement of ourselves that produces the pride that's necessary to generate the locomotion that's needed to propel us forward.
Wow. And you said something right there, Bob. You said every time that we've galvanized or organized, we've had a huge movement.
That's right.
Every time.
Every time.
So in this time that we're living in, have we had that movement? Have we galvanized enough to see some movement as Black people? Because people say, oh, we all right now. We good.
What people tend to do is we confuse individual success for collective progress. We confuse the two. Individuals have been allowed to amass a lot of money, no doubt, but that's still at the expense of the Black race. Right, so it's still at the expense of us, because the fact that it's like this: if you hold 1,000 people hostage, and then you work out some type of deal with 25 of them that you begin to allow to leave, what that does, sense of hope in the remaining 975. Now all of them think, well, they let Jimmy, John, and Burrow and Kim go, then we can get out of here. They'll let us go too. So we are toned down our push, because now we believe in that this was going to happen. So they allow some of us to make money, no doubt. And then they give us a narrative that if he did it, you can do it.
Yeah.
And then we start saying the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Well, yeah, anybody can do this. You know what I'm saying? We live in America. You got all these opportunities, man. You see all these Black millionaires we got. No one is holding you down but yourself. We use that narrative because that's the grand illusion. That's the grand illusion. Now, there's no way under capitalism all Black people can be financially okay, because then capitalism wouldn't be able to work.
It wouldn't work.
So I don't know why we think that. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't work.
It has to be an illusion. It has to be
an illusion.
Yeah.
It's not for all of us.
This system does not work if we all had free will to be as great and have as much money as we wanted. They would break down tomorrow. Who's going to buy? Who's going to consume? Wow. That's something we don't think about. And that's because I hear all the time, well, oh, Oprah's rich, or Jay-Z's made it, but these are folks that they allow to go forward. Is that what you're saying?
Just allow them to go forward, because at the end of the day, this is what I would say, right? So listen up. Because they're not necessarily, quote unquote, dumb people, right? Now, if they was really, look at me, right? I'm here in Baltimore City. If Jay-Z came to Baltimore or any major city and sat down with any bank, Jay-Z can negotiate a 10% interest on his money in the bank. So he can put $10 million, he can put $1 million in the bank, and every year he can generate $100,000.
$100,000, yeah.
Right? And $100,000 can be designated to go to any community organization he wanted to go to.
Absolutely.
So technically, he wouldn't be giving away no money at all.
Yep.
Right. So
Right.
that's small. I'm saying on a small scale so the people that's listening can really see, like, stop championing for these people because they can really do something if they wanted to. Now let's take it that much further. He's a billionaire, right? So since he's a billionaire, you know, he could easily take, you know what I'm saying,
100 million.
100 million, right?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And
negotiate 5% on that.
On that, right?
Right.
And do the same thing. Do the same
Damn.
thing. You know, and go in cities and identify authentic grassroots organizations working on behalf of Black people that you know need funding, and you become a funding source. If you don't trust the people, then you put your own power attorney in effect then.
Yeah, put a buffer in there.
Yeah, if you don't trust them, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Then you put that in there. But set it up where as though the funds is just going to keep recycling to these organizations so they can continue to do the work. Because community work is full-time work. And people that's doing community work need to be paid to do that work. And oftentimes it's hard for us to get the funding to do it. So that's why our organizations kind of struggle at times. But they need to know that. So if you got brothers and sisters out here on the ground that's doing serious work, then you need to fund that. Put it to the point where as though they can make money doing the work so they can take care of their families, because they got to still take care of their families. But y'all can easily set it up where as though they fund it and their organizations are funded so they can do the work.
But I you know, with the resources of them people, if we were to galvanize that way, they're coming. You know, but we have to find a way. If I think if slaves or any were able to do what they were able to do, if our people like Marcus Garvey and we look around whatever they've been able to do in their time, we got to be able to do something in this time that we can go forward. And there's so much technology out here. Why, you know, we have to utilize this technology to help each other. And so the folk who got some cash, Baba just gave y'all a template. Let's get it done.
Yes.
Let's get some money in the bank.
That's it. You know?
Yeah. To help these community organizations. Let's get it done.
It's so simple. We create the bank, right?
Right. Create it. There you go.
Get it done. You know what I'm saying? So because that's what the Europeans do. They create those foundations and they fund the people that's working on their behalf.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? They got independent militias that's funded. And the funding is coming from them. You know, they got private militias that's funded. You know, so they got, you know what I'm saying, they got legally hired killers that's being funded. And they get funded well to take care of their families, to be on guard, just ready to, you know what I'm saying, to go out and kill and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? They understand it. All societies understand the need to fund the institutions that's going to carry their society.
That's true. That's
true. Forward. You know, and the people that's in the organization, then you don't have an interest in your race. And then they want to always make a statement. They want to think, you know, say, yeah, I did this, but I don't advertise. No, yeah, you might give $10,000 here to this, that. Those are pennies for real. You know, you need to set up a situation that's going to allow you, some serious motion to take place.
A systematic movement that is funding these community organizations. It cannot be, I do it in private. No, that's not what we do. You can't just
give, I just give $10,000. No, you got to set it up as though, I know these groups out here, they need money. They need it. I come from these streets. I'm going to fund them. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to figure out how I can fund it. I'm saying and make sure they are good so they can continue to do the work for our people.
Love that. I love that. So what should we expect tomorrow? What do we expect at a rally in Baltimore tomorrow at 2 p.m.?
So tomorrow, what you can expect, like I said, I like for people to just know that. I mean by great energy, not just happy-go-lucky energy. I mean energy that's impacting your soul. That's the kind of energy that we generate, right? It's authentic. It's energy that touches you in such a way that it resonates, that when you leave, you're still thinking about what took place and what you heard and what you saw.
Yes.
In the people you encounter. So you can expect that. You can expect a series of different organizations and men and women represent organizations that's speaking, because I like to always get a variety of different people to demonstrate that we are working together.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to have great speakers. We got some nice performers. We got a sister that's coming in from out of Delaware. She's neo soul type of person slash spoken word artist, but she's phenomenal. Like I say,
Excellent.
we got an elder that's a poet. She's phenomenal as well. She's going to be there. We got some local, very impactful hip hop artists is going to be there.
Good.
We got our local some local drummers and African dancers are going to be there as well.
Excellent.
And you can expect a profound presentation from myself. I make it a habit of closing out each rally with a very profound presentation. I want to leave everyone with something that they can use. You know what I'm saying? Some good food for their soul and their mind and their spirit.
That's it. Yeah. Okay. So listen, guys, it's tomorrow, 2 p.m., Lafayette Park. Come to the Race First rally. Even if you're not sure what it is, come see what it is. Even if you're not, you might be a little afraid, you're not sure about all these African conscious people, come see, come be a part of it, come feel it. You never know what you'll get. And knowledge is power. Come get some. Please come out to the Race First rally. We're not, Baba is, he's a well-read guy. You can see he's very, very intelligent. He got this, but you need some of it. So come get some of it with other people who are actually doing the same thing. We're all trying to build our knowledge base, but we want to give it to each other. We want to build a nation amongst each other. And so that's what's very, very important. So come out tomorrow, please, to the Race First rally. Every August, for the last 3 Augusts, right, Baba?
Yeah, for the last 3 August, 20, 21, and 22.
21 and 2. So let me ask you a question. You know, Black August is something that we celebrated in as a people for the freedom fighters. That was something we did nationally at some point in the U.S. What made you pick August for something like this?
So what made me initially pick August, because like I said, it happened in 2020, and we was coming up on that 100-year anniversary of the creation of the red, black, and green flag. So that's why I picked August. But I will share something with the listening audience. But I'm realizing that I may have to come out of August with the Race First rally. And my reasoning for that is there's so much going on in August.
Yeah.
And it creates it makes it kind of complicated for some other folk in other places because they got to contend with other big, powerful events and stuff like that.
It's a lot of conflict.
Yeah. So I've been doing a lot of thinking. Like I said, when I do that thinking and I do that reflecting, and them ancestors come in. So we already have inaugurated, the National Race First Awareness Week, and that's the last week of July. So it really makes sense for the rally to be in that week there, the National Race First Awareness Week. So there's a possibility that going forward it may shift and come out of August and end up in the last week of July.
Okay. So I get it. So that might be happening because August is like almost it's the rush right before school. Yeah. It's a lot going on in August. A lot going on. Okay. So you're thinking about moving it.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me ask you a question. If someone was saying they was in Vermont and they said, you know what, I want to be a part of this Race First thing, what would they do? How do someone become a Race First destination?
So if they have already made contact with me, then what I do is I schedule a meeting with them. So there's a meeting, there's a conversation, and then I go through some protocols because I'm not just looking for anybody. I'm looking for the people who's going to identify with the protocols. I want the people who want to really be engrossed and immersed in the Race First movement, what we're doing, the protocol. So I go through that, there are things that like for once that I don't want no profanity at none of the rallies, right? And we got people that think that we shouldn't censor a person. It's not censorship. I'm saying it's just about us creating a standard, right? So if a person want to be at our event and they want like the hip hop artist, and I said, listen, I don't want nigga, and I don't want a bunch of raunchy profanity. I don't want it because the rally it's for our children too.
Yeah, it's to raise consciousness too.
So I go through all of that. It's a protocol. So if a person can't get with it, then we can't move on this together. No hard feelings, but I'm just not going to turn it over to anybody so they can desecrate something that's ancestrally mandated. This thing is sacred.
I love that. So they would, if someone hasn't got in touch with you, I'm trying to get at how they would go to Race First Movement at Gmail.
They can inbox me. They can email. They can reach out to any of the other cities. In most cases, some people know other people that's already a part of it, so they can contact them and have them link us up. But take email or direct inbox.
That's Race First Movement at Gmail, right?
Yes, at gmail.com.
I'm putting that in the comments because next year we want to be at 30 or 40, whatever it takes. As long as you pass the protocol. Remember now, Baba ain't just going to let you jump up and be race first. You got to have your mind right.
That's got to have your mind right. So it's a lot of other things that's going to be implemented going forward to protect the integrity of it, because oftentimes what I've learned about anything, that rapid growth can be good, and it can also destroy.
It can destroy. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm clear about that. So there are other things I had to put in place, to protect the integrity going forward. So I'm looking at a lot. I'm always looking ahead. I'm always building things out. I'm not just sitting around. I'm thinking about, like right now, I'm in the process of talking with South Africa. So that's a strong possibility that in 2023, in addition to Tanzania, we're going to have somewhere in South Africa on board also, right? So,
Beautiful.
And not to mention, I just had a meeting with some strong brothers out of Denver. They want to come on board. We got some strong brothers out of Flint. We got a strong brother out of Tampa, strong brother in Houston. So I'm already talking. So I already know right now that in addition to the 11, it's already 5 that's just waiting.
That's beautiful. That is totally beautiful. Let me ask you a question. So you're, once they pass the protocol and they go through the process, and you're building these race first rallies all at the same, what would be, because it's amazing. what would be the outcome? Are we giving our people directives to do in that space with, like, say in Denver or say in Houston? Or are we collectively building this national? Because I know it's a national thing, but a lot of things we have to do in our own community to be able to connect. So are we also giving out things for us to do in our own communities and be great in our own communities?
Yes. So those are part of the conversations. But one of the things that's going to be added this year is I'm going to add race first classes, and I'm going to start those classes probably the end of September, and that's going to take place once a month, so I can get deeper into race first. Well, even the ones that's already on board or those who want to come on board. So the classes will serve a number of purposes. It can be where someone who's just interested in race first, they can come into the class and get knowledge about it. Someone that's already in the race first movement, they can come into the class and I can help them deepen their understanding of what we're doing and stuff like that. And then anybody who just want to be down can come to the classes as well. But I'm gonna start doing these race first classes so to deepen our consciousness, and also to help us, those of us that's already linked up, to get on the same page. Because one of the things that I realized about Black people, even those with social deficiencies, so I got to work through that. So there's a lot of other work that need to be done.
Yes.
So we gotta figure out how to be more social with each other, because oftentimes our inability to be social destroys our organizations and stuff like that. Because people will start feeling some kind of way, like, and we gotta work through that. But I know why we so asocial with one another is because of bad experiences that we have had.
We're traumatized.
And because we've had these bad experiences, you know, we have resolved that I'm best just rolling by myself. I don't want to get to know nobody, so on and so forth. And even though, you know, we may be a part of the same organization, we still tend to be a solo dolo, right? That's not good enough. You know, that's not good enough. That's not sufficient for the work that needs to be done. In order for us to be at a, so I talk about Black people are a national body politic. And because we're a national body politic, we have what I'm defining as being a collective or a national psyche. And that psyche is composed of consciousness, identity, solidarity, and response. So think about it like this right here. I'm going to start with the individual, myself. The first thing I need to be able to do in my upbringing, my socialization, is I have to be brought to an awareness or consciousness of who I am. After I've been brought to that consciousness of who I am, to self-identify. I can begin to identify with myself and have an identity to appreciate. And once I have achieved that identity, then I can begin to be more in tune, in solidarity, in unison with myself, with my feelings and emotions. But solidarity is taking place. And then after that, I can identify my feelings. Because oftentimes we make statements. We say, I feel like you don't like me. Sometimes we confuse a thought with a feeling. Right? Because we haven't figured out, we haven't been brought up to know how to distinguish the thought from the, so we go through consciousness, identity, solidarity, feelings, and then we get to a place of response. The response is this: you get smacked. Depending on how you view yourself and what you think of yourself is how you respond. That's individually level.
So a lot of the times when we're responding, yeah, because your internet.
So national. So did you hear me? Can you hear me?
I heard you some of the time. You're going in and out.
Okay.
But I heard when you said part of how we respond to things is how you feel about yourself.
Yeah. Our response is determined to a great extent about how we see and what we think of ourselves. Like the person who allows themselves to be disrespected, they lack respect for themselves. They lack respect. That's why they can tolerate disrespect. People that have a strong sense of self will never tolerate disrespect. Will never tolerate it. So that's the point that I'm getting to. So at the top level, I want to help people understand how to get to national consciousness, national identity, national solidarity, national feelings, and national response. The reason national response is critical and vital to us as a people. Think about what happened in Buffalo or anytime something happened to us. You know, people are disturbed momentarily, but within 3 days,
we move on.
Yeah. But look at this though. If a person kicked your door in and harm your nephew, your brother, and your niece severely, you don't just pick up and move on 2-3 days later.
Nope.
The reason being is because you identify with them and you feel with your family. The reason we can move on at the national level,
because we have no connection.
We had no connection.
We're not connected. That is it. Let's come get connected. Yes. Let's start connecting. Race first to be every day. And
that's race first. So that's what we're pushing. That's race first to get us there, to get us connected. So when we're saying let's get organized, we're saying let's get together, let's get connected, let's pull together, let's gel together. That's crucial. So when we go through those 10 principles, we say Black consciousness, Black pride, Black solidarity, Black socialization. That's the fourth principle. Black socialization. We need to socialize, but we're literally talking about re-Africanization.
Re-Africanization?
So
did you say
yes.
Re-Africanization?
Yes.
Wow.
We have to re-Africanize ourselves.
I love it. That's true, because this ain't no one else. We haven't sustained being Africans because we don't live in a society that have any place for that. Wow. Man, Bob, it's been an hour. I wanted folks to see how powerful you are. So I know what this Race First rally is power. I went to it, guys. I'm not telling you something that I didn't attend. I attended it last year, and I will be posted up to this year. It's tomorrow at 2 p.m. Race First rally for consciousness. We want to organize, strategize, come together, build together, and definitely just love ourselves. It's not hard. Everybody else looks at themselves and love themselves. And we look at other folks and love them more than us. We got to do better. We got to rechannel that, right, Baba?
Yes.
We got to rechannel that. So listen, give us we closing. Give us your jewel, drop your jewel. Tell the people where to be tomorrow, and we're gonna see you tomorrow.
Tomorrow, August 27, 2022, we want to convene and congregate at the Henry Highland Garnett Park. And that's Druid Hill Avenue and Lafayette Avenue in West Baltimore. Druid Hill Avenue and Lafayette Avenue in West Baltimore. And we'll be there for about 35 minutes. And then we'll walk west on Lafayette over to the Lafayette Square Park, which is located at Lafayette and Carrollton. Lafayette and Carrollton. And then the National Race First Rally will take place there at 2 p.m. So come out, be a part of that, plug into this process, be a part of this energy, because the whirlwind is happening. That's
it. The whirlwind is happening. You guys heard from the guy who started this. The ancestors gave it to him, and now he's allowing us to access it and organize and be better. Whatever it takes for us to be better, we need to look into it. We definitely need to look to it. Baltimore. Give us the cities, Baba. Baltimore,
Rochester, Buffalo, St. Paul, Minnesota, Cincinnati, Ohio, Pine Bluff, Arkansas, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Atlanta, Georgia, Gulfport, Mississippi, and we have Shreveport, Louisiana,
and
Tallahassee, Florida, and Tanzania.
That's right. Wow. So that's almost in every region. You got to go a little more west.
Yes.
But it looked like you got the east, you got some mid-country, now we got to go west and go up.
Yes.
Love it. Love it. Okay. Well, I'm going to see you tomorrow. Definitely. This has been beautiful. We definitely appreciate your who you are, because the ancestors can lay this and try to lay it in a lot of people's lap, and they don't go forward. You understand? You took the message,
yes,
and actually organized and propelled it into something, because our ancestors are there to protect us and give us greatness. And a lot of us are not even accepting the call. You know what I mean? So I appreciate you for accepting the call and providing space for African people. Always excited about whatever you're doing. And next time we'll talk about what you're doing in the community, because not only does he work nationally to try to bring us together, he is doing real work in Baltimore City. Yes. on a daily basis. So we're going to plug into that also. So Baba, listen, I know you got to get ready to throw them words on us tomorrow. I know you're going to, it ain't hard for you though, but I know you're going to throw it down heavy. So I don't want to hold you too long. I appreciate you coming to Black Box Radio. We'll see you tomorrow. We boxed up and out. Can I get some deuces from you? We done. Peace.
Peace.
Good night, Baba.
Good night.
See you tomorrow.
All right.
All right.